Good afternoon to anybody over on the West Coast, and I guess good night, good late night to anybody over in Europe right now. How is everybody doing? Hope you're having a hope you've had a wonderful day. Good hump day over the hump, middle of the week. Hello, Hail Nev and Effie's mom. Said a prayer for you. Hope you get some good news with your situation. Thank you for coming by. Welcome to the Dinner with the Doctor show. Let's see here. It's the Dinner with the Doctor show coming off the top of the head to leave you well fed. Enjoy the stream. Dr. Ship blasts off back in the atmosphere with a scroll for fat loss. All right, that's my lame little theme song. Oh, you're very welcome. Hope you get some good news in your life. Today we're going to be talking, 5 p.m. over there on the West Coast. Yep. So we do have listeners on the West Coast. We have a big, broad range of listeners over here. Let's start off with a little clip, a little teaser. Anybody who was on Skinny Queen's show last night, and by the way, Skinny Queen can't make it today. She's a little bit busy, but I'm pretty sure she's going to be doing her stream later. So hopefully we'll be able to send you directly over there. And she should maybe make a cameo toward the end here. What else? Yes, so let me start off with this little tease.
Lies, and more lies, and lies on lies.
Oops, let me start at the beginning here. See, this is J-Bay, the one who started the petition to get the free, or I guess the reimbursement for extra seats on the airplanes. The one who travels, who's very obese, super hyper obese, I should say, because we have to be straight up, because she is, I believe, over 600 pounds at only age 23. So for her to say this here is extremely irresponsible. She considers herself an influencer. So let's see what's on the screen here. Fat cells cause health problems.
Lies, and more lies, and lies on top of lies.
Well, I don't know about that last part there. That's debatable. But let's go back to this part in the middle here. Let's watch it again.
Lies, and more lies.
Is that a lie there? Weight loss improves health for fat people? I'm not going to say weight loss, but I'm going to say fat loss. Yeah, fat loss generally does, unless it's from, very unhealthy means like starving yourself, and even then the results can be made permanently thin. I don't like the way she's worded that there. It can be healthy long term? Yes, absolutely. Permanently thin? I don't really like the way, like I said, I don't feel like the way she's worded that is accurate. Fat cells cause health problems. Again, that's worded very ambiguously. Fat cells by themselves are perfectly fine. The body has all kinds of cells: fat cells, muscle cells, skin cells, bone cells. I mean, I'm being very unscientific. Bone cells. What do they call them? Osteo cells, whatever. But yeah, but an excess of fat cells that are swollen. I'm trying to think of the right word for it. Fat hyperplasia of fat cells. I think that's the correct term for it. Hyperplasia, where they get bigger. That is absolutely unhealthy. It causes things like high blood pressure, hypertension, and this is the young lady who claims that pulmonary hypertension is unaffected by weight gain or weight loss. It's a rather questionable claim. But yeah, that's to tease that for later. We're going to be looking a little deeper into J-Bay. But also, we got homegirl Amber. Oh, but before we do any of that, Chantal. We all love Chantal, right? Well, love her, hate her, whatever you want to call it. She went to the museum. And I am a sucker for museums. I am a simp for museums. I'm an amateur historian. I love going to the museum. So if Chantal and Salah are going to a museum, I don't think anybody's more qualified to discuss it than me, because I am pretty easy to please with this kind of thing. One second, folks. Let me clear my throat. All right, that's a little better. Yeah, so I enjoy museums. I'm pretty easy to please. All you have to do is translate a little bit of the Arabic and not, do this incredibly lazily, and I should enjoy it. Oh, hey, Sherry, pleasure to have you here. Oh, yes, and you're very welcome, Hale, Nev. Yes, she does look different there, didn't she? She had that like orange lipstick on. Yeah, good evening again, Sherry. Oh, you got a panda now for your picture. It's very cute. Sleepy panda. Okay, let me see if I can. I guess if I'm talking over it, I can take my face off. But whatever, leave my face on. So let's watch a little bit of this vlog, because this is a new one. This just came on today on the Salah and Chantal channel, and let's watch it. Beit Al-Athman Museum, Beit Al-Athman Museum, I hope that's pronounced correctly, in Kuwait. I'll say that I have actually watched a lot of this already. There's a part 2 that has not been released yet. Overall, I kind of enjoyed this video, and the museum itself looks pretty nice. Let me do a little poll in here first before we do anything else. 1 second, let me type in this poll. Talk amongst yourselves for 1 second. All right, what was the price to get into the museum? Don't tell me yet, we're gonna make it a poll. Price to get into the museum. First answer will be free. Second answer will be 1 dinar. Next will be 5 dinar. Now let's make it like this. Let's make it free, 2 dinar, 5 dinar, 10 dinar. All right, there we go. I think that's good. Free, 1 dinar, 5 dinar, 10 dinar. Okay. Oh, and hello, Trolling Bish. Hello. Let me hide some of these comments here. Oh, and Tucker and friends. Hello. Pleasure to have you here tonight. Glad you could make it. Trolling Bish. Hello too. Hello. She said she almost had heat stroke after this visit. Wow. So she must have recorded this a few days ago, because I know she usually doesn't release the video the same day or even the day after. Yeah, it looks really hot out, but you'll see in the museum itself that the inside of it's very well air conditioned. So I'm interested to know how far away they had to park for her to almost got heat stroke just on the way to the museum and back. Okay, so let's get started. Beit Al-Uthman Museum, Kuwait. Antique vehicles, okay. Replica ships, nice. You know what, as somebody who likes skateboarding, I know that I'm sure it's not allowed, but that looks like a really cool thing. Like if somebody took their skateboard and jumped off of that on that ramp. You see how it's kind of curved? That'd be perfect to ride a skateboard on. I'm not good enough to do it, but not encouraging anybody to do that.
Hey
just
guys,
saying
we
you
are
could.
here at the Beit Al-Athman Museum.
Hey guys, this museum features Kuwaiti culture from predating the oil times to current times. So come on, Yella, let's learn something.
So excited.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Can everybody hear this okay? Would you like a little more volume? I've just moved it up. Yeah, the museum does look pretty nice.
Thank you. Souvenir shop.
All right, so you can already hear she's breathing pretty heavily. They didn't show us where they parked and where they came into. I don't know if they have handicapped parking spaces in Kuwait. I would assume they do. Maybe they don't, though. I don't know. But one thing I learned from watching this museum is Kuwait was always a very westernized kind of place. Even they showed pictures from the 1950s, and it looked very much like America in some ways. It was very not what a lot of people maybe would expect. But yeah, she was already breathing heavily just getting in here. So first thing they do is they take a little break. They sit down for a minute. In fairness to Chantal, it was probably like 100 degrees out that day. So
Nicely air conditioned, and it looks like we're the only people here.
Salah?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
Still
feel
kind
like
of.
I'm in the 1900s.
Yeah. This museum is basically Kuwaiti culture from the pre-oil era up until about now.
I like that little souvenir guide you get there. So okay, so I think that let that influence your vote. Because think about that. Do you think they bought that little guide, or do you think that came with their admission? So let that influence your decision how much it cost for them to get in there. Like, okay, because it came with that little guidebook. Not that, like it's anything huge, but it came with something. So, you know, just something, you know, to consider. Volume's okay. Let me get back to this. Hey, Skinny, glad we got you over here. Overloaded on caffeine. You're breathing like foodie. Well, at least you're putting in some real exercise, right? I think that's awesome that you've been so consistent with that. Speaking of health, I've been doing pretty well on my diet lately, so I'm happy with that. She's going to need an oxygen tank soon, just like the J-Bay. Although J-Bay only needs one at 23. And I will say this about J-Bay. We're going to talk about her a little more later. I actually gained some respect for her, but I don't really know what to think because she seems, I guess this is a good thing, that she seems a little more complex than just something, you know, she doesn't seem one-dimensional because one video she came across as very respectful and very polite. Another video she came across as very aggressive and very, I don't want to be rude, but let's just see it, you know, for yourself. Yes, and hello, Tucker, in case I missed you. Hopefully I didn't. Okay, let's let it go back to,
Catalog, nice.
uh-oh. That's not good.
Nice souvenir.
I was blessed to have a
Colorful
good
sequin.
airline. Hello, Terrell. Even if Salah's hairline is receding, it's still got, he's got like another 20 years before it starts looking anything like
Kuwait Airways,
Chantal's.
a bit of history. Here's the economy seats.
All right, this to me was the least interesting part of the museum tour. It's not that long, but the part where they look through the airline, I'm not like a big fan of like that kind of history. I'm more a fan of like ancient history. So like the stuff from the like the pre-modernization era, you know, the Middle Ages, that kind of stuff is really more interesting to me. You know, the Renaissance. But we'll watch, you know, the whole thing. It's not that long.
How is it?
Salah has no trouble fitting into a seat from back in the 1950s, or that looks maybe more like the 80s, actually. That seat doesn't look that old. But that's a historical seat. He fits into it pretty well. Although I will say it's not especially spacious.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello,
I
Rosalind.
need a seatbelt extender.
Put your seatbelt, please.
Oh, and notice how the stewardesses, they all have their hair down. If you notice the mannequins of the stewardesses, they all have their hair showing. And they're going to show a picture later of a stewardess, the very first Kuwaiti Airlines stewardess outfit. And it was kind of, it looked like a little bit like a traditional Islamic outfit, but it was also very modern. I'll let you decide for yourselves when you see it. But it looked really nice. Cool.
Excuse me.
Oh, and this is I guess a first class seat, a traditional one. And it just goes to show that the first class seats were pretty spacious even back then, because Chantal was basically fitting into it. I mean, she's pouring out a little bit, but at her weight, to fit into it at all is pretty good.
Your seatbelt.
I'm waiting for the lady to get me an extender.
What did he say?
Oh,
Let's go back. Let's go back. You got to hear that.
please.
So I just threw some shade on Foodie there. I missed it the first time I watched this.
Excuse me. Your seatbelt.
I'm waiting for the lady to get me an extender.
Did you hear that? He said, "Oh, your seatbelt, miss." She's like, "Oh, I'm waiting for the extender."
Oh, okay.
This is comfy.
He trolled her about the seatbelt.
Saudi on this one.
Inshallah.
Did you notice that? How he trolled her about the seatbelt? Hey, Charlotte, how are you? Gal Charlotte? Glad you can make it over. Yeah, I overall like this place. The part they go to at this later on is even cooler to me, in my opinion. But I enjoyed that little bit of shade he threw at her. Look at these outfits. I mean, Chantal must not enjoy seeing like how fit these mannequins are. Although to be fair, this is like These women are like a size like -1, I think.
1970 to 1974. And here 1979 to 1982. This one 1985 to 1989. And here we have 1989 to...
She's wearing Chantal's wig. You know, Chantal has the Kuwait Airlines standard issue wig. That's the one that they used to give out back in the late 80s, early 90s. Maybe that's where she got it from. They had like a surplus of Kuwait Airlines wigs. And in Canada, they were just giving them away, and she picked one up. Now we know where she got her wig from.
1993, my year of birth.
Yeah,
Cool.
her wig is as old as Salah. Probably was washed.
Hello, baby.
Same time he was.
Go here.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Oh, by the way, Sherry, I like those outfits too. I wasn't, yeah, I actually didn't criticize the outfits at all. I think those outfits look pretty nice. I mean, let's actually go back. I think they look cute. I think they're a little bit simple, but they have like a plain simplicity to them that looks good. You know, like I think that's just very plain. You know, like there's no insignia, there's no, but it doesn't look bad.
1944.
I like the blue jacket a little more. I think that looks pretty cool. Those pointy lapels, very,
This
very
one 1985 to
old school.
1989.
What year was those? 79, the pointy lapels. I like that one the most.
79 to 1982.
Sky blue pointy lapels.
This one 1985 to 1989. And
Oh, actually, you know what? That one looks cool. I gotta tell you, I take it back. This is the coolest one right there with that neckerchief. That is really a cool look. That's sharp.
here we have 1989 to 1993.
Except for that wig. That wig needs to go. whoever did this outfit, whoever came up with the wig, is really must have not liked the person who did the outfit, because she is
My year of birth.
needs some help with that
Cool.
that style. There it is.
Hello, baby.
Wow, you could really see how short she is from this angle. You know, like she's not even as tall as the. Oh, she's probably thought this was a fan. That's why she was standing next to it. She saw a turbo fan. She's like, oh, mashallah, turbo fan. Oh, it's not actually working. Oh, jeez.
Go here.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Okay.
Now that is cool. As somebody who likes video games and flight simulators, that's cool to see that. Oh, hello, Miss Jessica. Hopefully you're feeling well. Said a prayer for you as well. We got a few people. Hopefully Jessica is feeling well. The pink one needs a bra. I was gonna say the pink one, the pink one seems to be a little more blessed than the others. But yeah, she does need to. She needs a slightly thicker material. But yeah, I noticed that too. I thought that was a little funny. Oh, hey, Kidney J. Glad you could make it. Thank you for coming by, everybody. Give Kidney J a follow if you don't already. And also Skinny Queen, if you don't already, give her a follow too. But Kidney J just dropped another really great vid. I'm actually going to be talking about a similar subject. So you can watch her vid for more information as well. It's going to be talking about Amber Lynn and her recent new health issue, I guess. And also, let me tease this for later with J-Bay.
Lies on top of lies.
One more time.
Lies, lies, and more lies, and lies on top of lies, and more lies.
This is what J-Bay believes, everybody. Just so you know, when I said that I saw one video of her where she came across as like a really intelligent and respectful young woman, then I saw this video where she comes across as a bit dishonest. Just put it, to put it nicely.
And lies on top of lies.
That last part there is just kind of funny, but maybe it is. Who knows? But yeah, let's get back to, hold on, let me go back to the other channel. Hold on. I was sharing this other vid. Okay, let's go back to this. And hello to
So
anybody
you're the
who's come
captain
in
or
who I
what?
missed.
Yeah.
I'm the captain.
Hello again. Yeah, Chantal's wig, right?
There we go. This one the lead. It's Counter-Strike game. No, I mean.
I know my audience is like mostly women, and they're mostly like at least my age. But maybe you have a brother or a boyfriend or a husband or whoever who played video games back in the '90s, because that is very similar to the setup we would have used back then. I don't know if this is what they used for their training back then. It's very possibly it was, but that throttle and stick. In fact, later they show a gold-plated one like they used in the fighter plane, and they still make those. Those are really cool. They're called Thrustmaster products, and they make them. They're like for video games, but they're designed to be just like real plane controls. So they're really cool.
I got virus.
Uh-oh.
The plane dangerous.
That's what Salah needs if he wants to be a real gamer. He needs to set up like that.
Sorry guys, we will die all. Goodbye. Rest in peace. Here we have some badges.
Some badges. Interesting.
And here baby the Kuwait Sandy airstrip in 1932.
Oh, wow.
Now, what I thought was funny here is that he doesn't bother to translate anything. He just reads it to us that's already in English. He's like, hey, see this? I'm going to read this to you in English because you can't do that for yourselves. Although, to be fair, Chantal might be too short to see that. She might not be able to see over the top of that container. So you might actually have to read that one to her.
Oh, wow.
Hello, Charlotte.
Interesting.
Hello, Pocket.
Airbus.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope
The new
you
Airbus.
feel a little bit better, Jessica. Your first time at a Dr. Phil Live, well, I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, anybody it's your first time here, want to give you a warm Dr. Phil welcome. Hope you're enjoying the show.
DC3. The original.
Very true, Kidney J. That's true. That's true. But the computer game flight simulators, those were mostly dudes who played those.
1954,
You had to be a real
first
hardcore nerd to be into the flight
Wow.
sims on the computer.
Digital flight data.
But that's cool though that you play video games. What were some of the games you were into, Kidney
Yeah.
J?
And here we have the risky items.
And I should say nowadays there are a lot of female gamers. There's lots. I just know that back when I was younger, it was a lot less common. But they existed back then too. I know that now it's more common, but back then it was, yeah. So that's really cool though. Hearing that, yeah. If anybody in here was a gamer, I'm interested to hear like what kind of games you were into or anything. You know, prove me wrong. Make me look dumb.
Interesting. Since 1954.
Yeah, the Kuwait Airways part, I thought that was somewhat interesting. I think Chantal seemed pretty bored with this.
Wow, this is gorgeous.
This is what I find more interesting. This traditional stuff. This to me is so neat. These old costumes. I mean, I guess not costumes. I mean, that's actually what they wore. But these like, I don't know specifically what this was for. Like who wore these outfits specifically. But these are they're just so beautiful, so luxurious. And the jewelry and everything.
Kuwaiti currencies. Money.
Ah, who knew grasshoppers would have been so valuable?
Oh wow, Kuwaiti currencies over the years. Grasshoppers. I guess that's for barter because grasshoppers were edible. I mean, they still are edible technically. Tobacco, obviously, that's useful. Yit, I don't know what that is. Yit, some kind of root. Jarish looks like a spice. Krato, that looks like incense of some kind. Dates, we know what those are. Chickpeas, obviously. Yeah, these are this part is what I thought was interesting, seeing the traditional goods, trade goods from Kuwait. See what else they had? They had lentils, firewood, dried lemons, wool, ghee, flour, sugar, coffee. I didn't know they had coffee back then. Interesting. But I guess, yeah, they did. Yeah. Tea, of course.
That's the first money?
First, traditional Kuwaiti currencies. Oh, and actually he points something out because they don't explain this. But if you look at number 3, that's a Roman coin, it looks like. The Roman Empire extended into the Middle East at its height. And there was a currency issued in Rome at one point. Roman Empire existed for literally centuries. So they issued a lot of different coins over the years. But one of the coins they issued was the denarius. The denarius, which I believe was a silver coin, which that actually might be, I'm not sure. Kuwaiti dinar comes from denarius. That's why the word dinar is, and dinero in Spanish, the root word is denarius from Latin for that old silver coin. I want to say it was silver. that they used to have back in the Roman Empire. So that's, see, I am a little bit of a historian. Unfortunately, Chantal does not share that, but instead of watching her vlog, you can watch my reaction and actually learn something about the history of currency from the Roman Empire to Kuwait.
Kuwait pesas.
The first copper coin was used in Kuwait during the era of Abdullah bin Sabah. Indian coins used in Kuwait till 1961.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's interesting. So they used Indian coins until 1961. So I guess maybe Kuwait was a protectorate of Britain at the time. It was in the English Empire, and so it would probably used the currency of the Indian Raj. That might be what that was. Although I don't really know. I'm just totally guessing at this.
Till 1961.
Oh, wow.
I know more about ancient Rome than I do about the British Raj. Yep, Victoria. Maybe that's what that was. Maybe that wasn't a Roman
Yeah,
coin.
the
Maybe that was a
Kuwait money.
Victorian coin. Those look really cool, don't they? Now, I wish we could tell. I wish you could read to us, like who it is on these first Kuwaiti dinar. You know, that's probably like the founder of Kuwait, like a war hero or something. Interesting to know who they are. Like the sheikh.
First issue of Kuwaiti dinar in 1961.
Nice. Is the money the same now?
No. And this second issue of Kuwaiti dinar.
Hey, Wiki lover. No, you're not late. No problem. Glad you could make it.
And then now the first issue of Kuwaiti.
Hey, Laurie. No, glad you could make it. Glad you made it just in time. We're doing a review of
This until now.
the museum visit
Yeah, the coins
of
until now. But the
Salah and
paper
Chantal.
has changed.
Let me actually rewind this for a second. I talked over it.
This until now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the coins until now. But the papers now has changed. This one, the third issue of Kuwaiti dinar. Quarter KD, half KD,
Yes.
1 KD,
Agreed.
5 KD, 10 KD, 20 KD. KD means Kuwaiti
Incredible
dinar,
machine.
you know.
That was cool. Yeah, I was definitely.
And here,
I was into
the
PC
fourth
games.
issue of Kuwaiti
I was not a
dinar.
huge fan of Doom, but I liked PC gaming a lot. Very cool, Pocket. Pocket's hardcore, legit nerd. You get my official seal of approval.
100 fills. This point is mean in Arabic 00, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah.
1 0 0.
Oh.
Yeah, she's not doing much for the vlogging. Like they're not adding any information.
It's very interesting.
Did you see that? Like the way she couldn't even hide that. Look at her face. It's very interesting, and she rolls her eyes. Like Salah seems to at least be enjoying this a little bit, or at least he's pretending like he is. She can't even act like she's enjoying it. Look how crappy this is. Like if I was like really enjoying this and I was Salah and I was having a good time, and then she did this, that would make me feel kind of crappy. Like she's got to crap on my good time. You know, like, oh yeah, it's really enjoyable, and then she rolls her eyes. You know, I actually think Salah paid for this ticket too. Like later on when he talks about the price of the ticket, everybody hopefully vote in the poll because they are going to reveal the price of the ticket at the end. I think he actually paid for it, the way he describes the price. And I think, you know, like because he seems to be enjoying this more than her, so it was probably his idea. Listen.
It's very interesting.
Did you see that?
Learning things about different cultures.
Yeah.
She had to do it again, and then she did the eyebrow roll.
It's very interesting. Love learning things about different cultures.
Yeah.
She couldn't even hide it. She rolled her eyes and then did the eyebrow twitch twice. That's how little she cares about learning about Kuwaiti history. This is her new homeland, everybody. This is her new home. This is the country she loves so much better than Canada. She couldn't give two craps about the history of the country. She's more interested in the history of the McDonald's.
See here? Telephone test desk.
What year?
1950.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a historian myself.
Ministry of Communication.
I mean, some of this stuff is not necessarily what I find as interesting as others. Like the part about, like over in the other room there, I hope they put that in part 2, because I'm going to spoil this. In part 1, they do not describe any of the weapons in that gun case over there. I obviously want to know about that. And if Salah doesn't bother to record that, I don't know what kind of a guy he is, because every guy wants to know about the old guns, right? I mean, maybe I'm stereotyping. I think a lot of women enjoy that too. But I'm just saying, I don't know any guy who wouldn't want to at least take a quick look at those old rifles or pistols, whatever. I can't really tell. I mean, those aren't pistols, obviously, but those old guns over there. They look like carbines, if I had to guess. You know, like Salah should be reading some of these captions. That's what he should be doing, because that's what he could be adding to this. I don't want you, here, Salah, take my advice. Forget foodie. If you want to make these more interesting for anybody, just read the captions. A lot of us Americans here, we don't speak Arabic. We take it, you take that for granted. Maybe the caption has something interesting in there that we want to know. Share it with us,
Just get in.
I remember some of these phones.
Oh my god, it's too old.
Now Chantal is interested in this. This is like, because she's like thinking, wow, how did they order out for food back then with those phones? How did they get DoorDash with that?
If you mess up a number on this dial one, you have to start all over again.
Oh my god.
Oh yes, thank you, Sherry. Please hit the
Siemens
thumbs
brand.
up.
Whoa, cool.
Oh, you're very welcome, Laura.
It's a German brand, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Pocket.
My favorite invention, the AC.
Oh, thank you, Sherry.
What does that say?
It's testing devices inside the exchange. Mobile dial telephone for Kuwait.
Sorry to hear that,
Just here
Drawing Bish.
working at the mail sorting.
I normally don't talk much about myself, but I'll reveal this. My parents were both teachers, so I from a young age I always was bombarded with a lot of useless trivia, especially from my father. He was himself had a degree, a history degree, so he was always filling my head with all kinds of information and trivia and uncomfortable facts, all that stuff.
Table.
Oh, nice office, babe.
Have a lot of mail.
So you are hardworking now.
Yeah.
But where are the customers? Invisible?
See, now this is where Chantal should have shaded Salah for that comment about the seatbelt earlier. When he said, "Where are the customers?" She said, "I don't know. Maybe they're off buying perfume at your business." Like that's what she should have said to him there. But whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice rotate.
I like this chair.
This is Chantal's favorite part,
You
the
want to
chair.
buy it?
She's like, "Oh man, this is the best part of the museum. This chair. It supports my body weight."
Probably very expensive.
And this all considered as old tools,
Now these are cool. These old
A
tools. I'm
selection
not
of
sure.
old Kuwaiti postcards.
Oh, you know what? I think these are. This is the history of the postal sector in Kuwait. See, that's in English. That's in English. Why the heck is Chantal not reading this thing in English, or at least zooming in enough so we could see it? You know what I mean? Like if Salah was reading these bits in Arabic here, and Chantal was reading these bits in English, this would actually be a pretty cool thing. And what are those things over there? Those drills? I don't know, but maybe those were used like. Who knows what those are for? I'm interested to find out now.
Very nice.
Yeah, there's no way she's enjoying this, Laura.
Interesting
She doesn't
place,
seem to
guys.
know much about this ninja cat.
Really a nice museum.
Yeah, very nice. Nice air conditioned, interesting culture, lots of seating.
And the ticket only 1 KD for a person.
Worth it. Wow.
And here's the martyrs area, as you guys saw in our Al Ghurain Martyrs Museum. Something similar in here, just a bit of homage to it. Let's go see.
I love learning about other countries. Eyebrow raise. I'm glad she pretends to act all serious now.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, this would have been from the liberation.
Great
of
point,
Kuwait
Pocket.
From the Iraq.
Great point, Pocket. And I'm going to catch up on some of these comments too. That is such a great point. How could she have not even learned the Arabic numbers by now? You'd think that she would know that just from ordering food. I enjoy learning about it too, Tucker. It could just be one of her weird ticks, says Jessica. She looks like a hot air balloon. Right, Sherry? It's nice when you folks enjoy it. Oh, the muskets. Exactly, Pocket. Thank you. Muskets. That's I think, the correct word. Yeah, make it more interesting, Salah. You had that flute bone, that old one? That's cool. Yes, Wookie, that's a good point. He's probably doing something that he wants to do for once, and she's just dead weight, dragging around, making it harder for him to enjoy it. Is she sitting on a museum chair? I think she is. I think she is. Though, to be fair, I think that's like a recreation. I don't think that's an actual antique, because it's just, like out in the open for people to sit on. So it's probably a rebuilt one or a manufacturer or something. But yeah, that's a good point, though. It could be fragile. I mean, the fact that it supports her weight is pretty impressive. Yeah, she's sitting on the museum chair. That's a good point. You folks noticed that before I did. She wants to roll around in it for the rest of the tour. Right? She's putting their insurance at risk. I don't think their deposit covered that. They do have a snack bar. We're going to get to see that later. Like the way the Kuwaiti men wear a head cover. You know what? I like also, like when guys used to wear hats too in the old days. I think that's cool. Torture device. The torture device is not letting her have the chair. Yes, they do serve food. Foodie is very shallow when it comes to this stuff. I agree. She's not a foodie either. She doesn't have a sophisticated palate. But she has the pretty privilege. Agreed, Wookie. Somebody who wants a couples vlog channel, there's like nothing here to like, there's no chemistry between them. Like this visit, I have a feeling like I would enjoy this more if it was just Salah by himself. Seriously. Like I'm having a laugh, like at Foodie, how uncomfortable Foodie is. But if I was just wanted to see the museum, I think Salah would do a much better job showing it to us. Okay, so let's keep going. There's not too much more in this vid. And then we'll finally get to HFC.
During the Iraq War, huh?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to skip ahead through this a little bit, not because it's not interesting to see, but just because it is kind of somber, and I think it's inappropriate to put something serious in such like a goofy video. I don't want to put something like a memorial to the dead in the middle of a comedy video. So I'm just going to kind of skip through this, not to be disrespectful, but for the opposite reason. All right, I think that's through that.
Support the troops.
All right, we can watch, I guess, the end of this here if you want, real quickly. This is just about the Iraq War, just some
Kuwait is now
material
free.
from the war era. Let's go through this a little more quickly. This is kind of sad here. Of course, Foodie handles it with no delicacy, doesn't really give it any. I mean, she's not like disgusting about it or anything, but her lack of knowledge doesn't really add anything to the experience. At least she's respectful, I'll say that. So, but yeah, we're just gonna skip ahead through that.
Yeah.
Oh, Pocket spoiled it. Okay, yep, that's what it was.
This is the whole president in Kuwait.
You should just leave her. I think she'd be happier if you left her there with some food. That's cool there, the traditional dance there they do with the saber. Or maybe it's a scimitar, I'm not sure.
Yeah, starting from Sheikh Mubarak al-Sabah.
Yeah, the colonization history would be very interesting, the colonial era. I think that's cool. That's very interesting to learn about. Like these guys here, these old sheikhs. They traded the beezer spray for the tickets. Yeah, Salah seemed to know some stuff. He should have spoken a little bit more. He seemed to have some idea, at the very least.
Sheikh Nawaf al-Ahmad al-Jabir al-Sabah. For now.
Let me go back here what he
Sheikh
said.
Nawaf al-Ahmad al-Jabir al-Sabah. For now.
Oh, he's the current leader there? Yeah, he at least can read some of the stuff and translate it, so he could provide some context. So it would be somewhat interesting, I think.
Whoa.
It's okay,
It's a real
Pocket.
sword,
It's
right?
actually coming up in just a minute. Oh, I keep rewinding. I want to hear this.
Whoa. It's a real sword, guys.
That is an absolutely beautiful sword. That looks like some kind of commemorative sword. It looks a little too fancy to have been used in combat. It was probably like a like given as an honor or an award or something.
Oh, more swords.
Wow, look at that one at the bottom. Although to be fair, look how heavy it is, the blade. Might have been a real combat sword, because look how heavy it is. That's really built for cutting somebody up. Look how thick that blade is. You can really chop somebody with that thing. That's got a lot of weight to it. Looks like a really nice sword. Not that cheap stuff, you know. And the one on the top too. Look how thick the blade is, even all the way out at the end. So that means it's got a blade that has a heavy point like that is good if used from horseback because you can chop with it. It's almost like an axe where the end of it is weighted. So when you swing it down, it naturally swings with more force. It's not as good for wielding, like for blocking and using like a fencer would do. But if you're on top of a horse and you're just hacking and swinging down, that kind of the sword with the big weighted end, the one on the top there, that would be very effective. Although I don't know if this specific one was used in combat because of the engraving, it looks kind of fancy. But it looks like it could have been used in combat. It looks very heavy duty.
And this one is safe pass.
Right here, you can tell this is a bench. You're supposed to sit in here for them to take a picture. This is like a photo opportunity area. First of all, Foodie is just too short and heavy to climb in there. She just can't do it, unfortunately. And if she could, it would probably break. That does not look like it would. It's made to support a lot of weight. That weight looks pretty thin there. But yeah, it's a really cool photo op to sit there in that little bench next to the boat. I think that's really neat. You know, overall, this museum is pretty cool, in my opinion. Although she's short enough that it works with her standing in front of it, so I'll say that.
Nice ship, huh? Wow.
She is so
I
bored.
need water.
She's finally excited now that she gets some snacks.
Oh,
She always moans when she sits down. She never sits down like, that was nice. She was like, oof.
we're just gonna sit for a minute and have some water before we continue on. I'll down this now.
The way she said before we continue on, you can tell that she's like wishes they could just leave now. Like she really doesn't want to keep going. Well, let's catch up. We got a lot of great comments here. You put your hijab on, right? I think that's a good point, Wookiee Lover. She did not want to go, but Salah probably suggested it, and you know, they need content. So it was either let him go alone or go with him. And she's like, well, I got to go with it. I'm not letting him go alone. He already said when Foodie was sitting in the chair. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, I'll say it at the end if they don't reveal it again. She hates everything, hates walking, hates outside, hates museums, hates being around people, hates the heat. She doesn't need so much fun to be around. In fairness, I don't really like the heat either, but I do like museums. I like being around people. I like walking. I don't necessarily love outside, but if it's nice weather, I do. I don't like the heat. If it's hot, I don't like being outside either. I have to be honest. That's sad, but it's probably true, Sherry. Don't do it, Foodie. Yeah, that seriously is in that picture with the ship, you could really see the gut. Yeah, don't even try it, Chantal. She'd probably fall over if she did try it. It was a maze with food as a reward, right? The way that it's laid out, it looks like the snack bar is right in the front. So that's probably what Salah did. He probably said, look, if we can make a full circuit around the bottom floor and get back here, we'll get you a snack. Ooh, an upscale rug store. Yeah, that would be nice to see. Even a regular rug store. Yeah, that water is kind of small, actually, I think. That's how the stool in her kitchen broke. Yeah, I do like carpets too, Tucker. Curious what her head looks like. I've not seen her head in so long. I wonder if she can even remove the hijab or if it's just permanently stuck there now. Like a wetsuit that dried on. The profile view filtered. That's a good point. There's no way that she would have released this video without that angle filtered. Yeah, that's true, Wookiee Lover. I was just being a little joking around a little bit. Yeah, just because she's clearly, you know, all that walking. I didn't see any opportunities to sit except for that antique chair that she really shouldn't have been sitting in. And this one here in the cafe area. Oh, and they have a little gaming table here. That's what I mean, how salon foodie don't take chances to do stuff for content. They could be sitting there playing that little board game, even if they don't know how to play. They could just be like, oh, you know what, let's just screw with this board game for 5 minutes just to give something, you know, for the people to see. And if they really loved each other, it would be cute. Because they don't care about each other, there's no chemistry, and it's not fun to watch them do stuff like that. Woman of my own heart, I can relate to that. Well, just being myself, I don't like it, but hey, you don't need an excuse to dislike the heat around here. You're more than welcome to not like the heat. Yeah, the hand-dyed fabrics. That's a good point, Wookiee Lover. This place is very well air-conditioned from my understanding. It's, you know, I mean, it's to be comfortable in where they are in Kuwait, it has to be. I mean, Salah is not sweating at all, so it must be pretty well air-conditioned. Yeah, this food area is nice with all the carpets and the games, and they have a children's section. I'm surprised the kids in the hallway didn't follow Chantal here, because they're always yelling in all of her videos. Her posture is not good. She swears her hair is grown in. Maybe it's grown into her scalp, but it is not grown like in as far as like actually like grown out. So it like looks good. I'm not trying to make fun of her for her hair either. That's out of her control for the most part, but yeah. You know, those portable air conditioners, I'll tell you, some of them are okay, but they can be really noisy, and you have to clean them pretty regularly because otherwise they'll get dusty and then they'll get even noisier. And that's the issue. They can be really noisy, they can use a decent amount of power, and they only cool off so much. So if you have an AC that's not quite up to the job, it'll help out, but if you don't have AC, it's not going to do it. But like if you just need a little bit extra, they're not bad. They're good for that. Like if you just need like an extra degree or two of cooling. Oh, Montreal, I bet that, you know, at least it's not so hot there though, right? Yeah, right? It's very empty there, Gal Charlotte. That's a great point. It's extremely empty. Yeah, there's rarely anyone around when they go out. All I can think of is that they go specifically during work days, like during the peak of the workday, when they know that places are going to be the emptiest, or they're going on days when they know that these places are open during the summer, from my understanding, especially after Ramadan. Everybody does things at night over there, from my understanding. They're up very late at night. Voted free for the poll. Thank you, Scorpio Angel. We're going to do the reveal soon. I think they already mentioned it in the video, but I'm going to do the reveal because I know what the real price is. Yeah, she is still very bald. Yeah, she does lie a lot. And because you can make fun of her for lying. Hold on, Jessica. You can make fun of her all you want. I don't make fun of her. It's just because, you know, I'm hosting the show and I don't really, you know, I got to be careful. But y'all can say whatever the heck you want. I'm not going to criticize anybody here. This is as close to a free speech zone as YouTube allows me to make.
Cold water. That's the life. Hello, Sheriff. How are you doing?
I'd like to make a complaint. Someone stole my pickles.
Oh.
I'd like to report somebody overstaying their visa and 2 people living together who are not married.
That scared me. Oh.
That kid looks a little bit evil, doesn't he? Like the eyes and like looks like kid looks a little bit spooky.
Scared me.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yeah.
Now, that looks cool. The traditional outfits and the traditional, like they even have like the rifles and everything, like traditional desert warriors and everything. That's very cool to me. I think that's very interesting. Like the way they hunt and live there. Oh, and like a traditional, like these. I don't know if these are replicas or if these are some of these are actual stuffed animals. But this is really cool to see like the traditional
Like
animals
here?
that they have in Kuwait.
Your friends.
And you know, I know people who don't like zoos. Like this is a humane alternative. You don't like zoos, you can look at the sculptures.
The penguin and seal together.
Okay, so what was the actual price? Let's check the poll. Okay, we're gonna end it. We saw it was 64%. So you said free, 21% said 1 dinar, 9% said 5 dinar, 4% said 10 dinar. The correct answer was 1 dinar. That's right, 1 dinar. And I feel like Salah paid for it because I can't imagine Foodie paying even 1 dinar for anything she can't eat. Also something that would require her to walk around. That's the part of the museum you like, Wookiee Lover, the traditional, like older stuff, or yeah, this museum, it covers a lot of history. That's an interesting thing about it. Yeah, Sherry, usually they go to the free things. I kind of faked you out too by giving free as the first option because I knew most people would pick that. I faked you folks out. It was a whole dinar. 1 dinar is $3.30. Hail Nev and Ethy's mom. That's right, $3.30. $4.40 Canadian. Yep. So altogether, they got in there for under $10. Not bad. Oh, he would have had way more fun with his friends, and it would have been a better. You know, Wookiee Lover, that's a great point. Let me highlight that comment. He would have had so much more fun just doing it with his friends. I agree with that 100%. All right, let me pull up Hungry Fat Chick real quick because we're going to talk about her just a little bit. I don't want to talk about her too much because it's a little bit unpleasant, but Kidney J brought this up recently. So we're going to kind of show off a little video of what she ate lately. Before we start this one, I'm going to mention that she had just very recently had fluid on the lungs. Usually they do go to free things, that is true. 1 dinar, $3.30 approximately. It was a nice museum, and I actually look forward to seeing part 2. I'm not a fan of Chantal. Oh, thank you, Gal Charlotte. Subbed. I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of the content. I like the history and the old tools and stuffed animals, stuff like that. I'd have paid $10 to go there. I'd have paid 2. Now that it's getting hot, I think she will start to smell even more. Well, she's not going to start to smell any less, I'll tell you that. Oh, and she only has 30 days left on the visa. I believe that's true. The end of this month, she's sometime before the end of the month, she's going to be out on the visa. So Hungry Fat Chick, let me give you a little bit of background. I got some of this from Kidney J. I got some of this from just reading comments and things. She recently had a health scare again. This is not the one where she was in the hospital where she ordered the Kentucky Fried Chicken. This is the one where she was home and she was feeling ill because she has the fluid in the lungs, the juicy lungs she calls it. And she said she was considering no mukbanging for a little bit. Hello, Freedom Deep. Glad to have you. Oh, no problem. No problem. Glad you enjoy it. Yeah, and I have to agree. I'm not going to go in too hard because I don't want to just, I don't want to beat a dead horse. But I do want to address, though, the fact that so she got a lot of support from people because she said she wanted to stop the mukbanging and start thinking about her health. And a lot of her viewers said, hey, we are with you 100% on this, Candy. And they gave her a lot of support. And I don't know if they gave it to her financially, but I know they gave her a lot of emotional support, sent her a lot of positive messages, a lot of good comments, just a lot of love, a lot of unconditional love, really. Just like, hey, Candy, we're here for you. We care for you. Whatever you need to do, we want to see it. Well, just a few days later, she does a so-called vegan mukbang. I guess technically it's vegan, but it's this giant plate of French fries and a vegan sloppy Joe, sloppy Jane, whatever you want to call it. And the people who sent her all that support said, hey, what the heck is going on here, Candy? You said you were going to start watching your health. You were going to slow down with the mukbangs. And she said, well, I never said I was going to stop. I never said I was going to stop doing them. Just said I wasn't doing them for that day. And people obviously got a little frustrated with this. Said, you're jerking us around, you're jerking yourself around. And, well, then she goes and releases this one here. And she released another one today, too. But this one, I think, is a little more interesting. We're going to put it on super high speed.
Hey,
tonight I'm having Taco Bell. Yes, Taco Bell. And I got a lot of food, so just prepare yourselves. It was just a thing.
So she got this from Taco Bell. And let me also say one other thing about Hungry Fat Chick. And this is what I just kind of want to get out of the way. This is the elephant in the room. I don't like Chantal. A few reasons. Some of them are like kind of personal, like because she doesn't get, you know, she's really treated my friend Sarah Jane like crap, really done her wrong. And I don't like that. That's kind of like a personal thing. But not even personally, I think she's just a nasty piece of work in a lot of ways. I don't like a lot of things about her. I don't want to get too specific, but we could name them. HFC gets a pass for whatever reason by a lot of people, and I have a problem with her. And the problem I have with her is that she's a mother of two kids, not one kid, two kids, two boys. She's not in their lives. She's producing the content, and I'm not talking about the mukbangs, I'm talking about the theater porn, the really unpleasant content. I'm not going to harp on that specifically, but as a mother and as somebody who is not even there for her kids, for her to live her lifestyle this way, for her to basically abandon her kids to live her life this way, to put herself into an early grave from overeating, and I mean, it's just, there's just so, there's not a lot to like here, and I feel bad for her in the sense that she's come from a hard life. But if she's come from a hard life, then she should know better than anybody it's not right to abandon your kids. And those kids are, I believe it's family members taking care of them, but whoever it is, it's not, you know, the state is obviously coming in with benefits to help take care of them, and I'm not harping on that either, but it's just the reasoning. It's not like she couldn't take care of them because of something out of her control. She chose not to. She basically just gave them up so that she could make porn and weigh 600 pounds. And I don't see why people have so much support for this woman despite all of that. I don't hate her, but I don't like her. I don't like her. And at risk of sounding harsh, that's my stance on this. So let's see how she's respecting the people who sent her all that support when she told them that she needed their prayers, needed them to be there for her, really appreciated their support because she was worried about her health. Let's see how she continues it.
Ooh, they gave me my sauces. All fire, that's what I like. Oh, and they actually gave me some napkins. Hallelujah. I got 3 Doritos, Locos Tacos. Oh God, they don't have the little foot that usually comes with the tacos on them. I'll be lucky if they don't fall to pieces. I got the Fiesta potatoes. Oh, my potatoes and cheese was all sideways. Nachos Bel Grande. And this Mexican pizza.
Who dropped the videos first? Excellent point.
And more fire sauce. Very nice. Oh.
But she have some, but she could certainly get some kind of disability though, couldn't she? I mean, at her weight, I can't imagine that she wouldn't be eligible for disability. So, I mean, I'm not saying that she shouldn't try to make money, but making money by doing feeder porn is, I mean, I almost think she'd be better off on disability.
Well, I do, but, you know, I'm a whole lot of woman. Or whatever. Oh, I got a fork. Because then you give me no utensils.
It's sad. It's sad too. I'm not just.
But right, I've got utensils.
It's definitely a sad person.
So it's incredibly.
It's not. I don't simply.
Late. Well,
you know, I have sympathy
incredibly
for her
late,
as well.
I should say.
Let me say that
God.
too. I should have started with
I
that.
don't even know what to do. Take
But
the lid
yeah,
off
I dislike that about her.
nachos.
But look what. Okay, so here's what she's eating. Here's her big.
You have look at my chipotle sauce.
And she's also eligible for Medicaid
Nacho
too,
Bel Grande.
so she would get health care
I get
covered.
the seasoned beef, but I get extra seasoned beef, no beans.
2 kids. They're grown now.
Extra nacho cheese. Extra
Yep, she has
sour
kids, 2 of
cream,
them.
and I had the
They're
Chipotle
full grown now.
Sauce. Because yeah, that's what I like. I like the Chipotle sauce.
I don't know about the father. As far as I can tell, the father was not in their life at all. And that's sad. Now, I'm not excusing him either. I hope nobody thinks I'm excusing him. I just don't even know where he is to criticize him.
I'm gonna start with the tacos.
But I have no praise for him
These
whatsoever.
are supposed to be the Doritos Locos Tacos
that's-
Supremes, so they should
Left
have
them with their family.
sour
Well, at
cream in
least
there
they
somewhere.
left them with the family. At least you shouldn't just leave them with
I'm so hungry.
a
This was not my first choice. Taco Bell was not my first choice.
an
I was
orphanage or
actually
something.
waiting for over an hour to get last minute Napoli. I was just gonna get a lasagna with double bread.
That's a fair
no
point,
salad,
Sherry.
And
You know, like I don't see any good solution here. She's basically put herself in an untenable situation.
Just give me a Diet Coke. but that's okay. But Taco Bell,
That's not an unreasonable thing. I mean, I don't even know exactly what to do with someone like this.
I got the Mountain Dew Black, Baja, whatever, Baja Blast.
Like I said, I don't even
And
know
I
what
got
to do with
the zero
somebody
sugar.
like this.
But then I
It's,
turn around
it's
and I got
just,
the frozen Mountain Dew, full sugar. I don't know. I just wanted a slushy.
that would at least not be so
full sugar.
destructive.
Full
You know,
sugar.
if she could at least just stop doing the,
Yeah, I was gonna have lasagna tonight. I wanted lasagna, but ain't nothing wrong with some Taco Bell. Yeah,
she's really making that much. I mean,
potatoes and
it's the thing is though, but this is such self-destructive stuff. I mean, whatever she's making in money to offset. I mean, let's look at it pragmatically for a second. Let's say that she's making money from this, so she doesn't have to collect disability. How is she getting her health care paid for? If she makes money through this, I doubt she's paying for her own health insurance. She's probably still getting Medicaid. So whatever money she saves by the state by not collecting disability, it's being spent many times over on her medical treatments that she's going to ultimately need. So it's like pay me now, pay me later. I don't think that earning money by mortgaging your health in the future to make money now is not a profitable enterprise.
ooh, like this side better. Okay.
Well, I'm sure she has Medicaid.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah, she's American, so she's eligible for Medicaid. I'm sure of
pizza
it.
combo, I believe came with.
That's what I'm saying, Skinny.
tacos.
So what? So that's what I'm saying, and I'm not encouraging her to commit disability fraud because if she's able to work, she should. But if her work is ultimately harmful to everybody, including herself and society, because she's creating this massive medical bill for the future, it's really not a net benefit for her to do this work. This work is not really benefiting anybody. In the end, it's actually hurting us all.
Taco Supreme, but I got the Doritos, Los Nachos Tacos, because it's good. And I get the Supreme.
Yeah, I don't know what you could even do. Yeah, that's the thing. She's which side of the equation is she on?
It's almost 2 in the morning, so I've been waiting.
I'm not aware of that, Bob. I have to look into that.
Yeah, Napoli closed at 1. And I ordered my food before midnight.
Presumably she would.
2 delivery drivers.
Presumably she would, but then logically, her health insurance costs would be so high, she'd be better off just collecting the Medicaid. I mean, this is all hypothetical because nobody really knows her actual financial situation. So a lot of this discussion is just hypothetical. We're just kind of, we're just really guessing because we don't know what her actual situation is. But yeah, there's what she's actually doing, what she's actually reporting, what she's actually making, which would actually be more of a cost. These are, without knowing the true data, it's kind of tough to say, determine that.
And dropped the order before the final one was there.
Hey, Tangle Bliss.
I was like, I just knew because it kept getting later and later and later, and it was like 15.
I have
minutes
sympathy.
to one, and
I feel somewhat bad for her, but I don't feel. I feel much worse for her kids. Much worse for her
It is
kids.
what it is. It wasn't in the cards.
She's about 50 years old. Jeez. Yeah, the amount of medical care she's going to need ultimately. But yeah, we don't need to watch this whole video. I just wanted to talk about her for a second. I didn't want to spend too long because I think it's a very unpleasant subject. HFC is very depressing in a lot of ways, but I just wanted to address it because even her own fans have kind of had enough. She's been going back and forth about how she's looking serious about her health, and then she goes right back to mukbanging. And I feel like, again, she's playing both sides. The way that she's playing both sides with her insurance, with her income, she's playing both sides with, oh, I'm going to stop mukbanging, pray for me. Oh, well, I didn't say I was going to stop forever. Interesting. Yeah, it's a gray area. It's a gray area. And yeah, Pocket, sadly, it is. I wish there was something I could, I'm kind of hopeless in that sense. Sometimes when I talk about people, I try to give hypothetical advice. I try to, say what I would do in their situation, but I can't even put myself in her shoes. I really can't. It's just too hard to fathom. It is so sad, in fact. You know what? Enough of this. Let's watch Amber Lynn, because she actually has an interesting video this time. We're going to share Amber, Good old Amber. Amber is a breath of fresh air today. I know we can't really believe her, but what she's saying at least sounds nice. So let's give Amber a shot in a second. Let me catch up on the comments first, though, real quick. And thank you, everybody. If I missed anybody who's come in, welcome aboard, BB, and welcome aboard to all the people who've come in that I haven't said hello to. I know there's a bunch of you who've made it in here. Hey, Irene K, hello. Scorpio. Yeah, doesn't Nick have some money? He can put her on to whatever he's doing for his health situation. That's another good point, Scorpio Angel. A lot of people are in a similar situation. And that's another thing, too, why... Yeah, at this point, I could understand that her kids want nothing to do with her. Although, to be fair, did they really have, like, any other, like, good choice? Like, did they... I mean, is they really want their mother in their lives when she doesn't seem to have any interest being in their lives? I mean, it's like, what do they even get out of a relationship with her at this point? She wasn't really there for them in their formative years, so whatever, you know, they don't even really want anything at this point. They probably would rather just not even be associated with her. Yeah, that's a good point, Sherry. She is probably addicted to the money because it lets her live a lifestyle she otherwise couldn't. She's able to eat all of this delivery and junk food, whereas if she wasn't doing this feederism stuff, she would only be able to afford, you know, the basics. She wouldn't be able to afford all this eating out. That's expensive. It's an expensive hobby. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And that's why I'm not dragging her too hard. But I still am, you know, not happy with what she's doing. But I'm not going to drag her too hard because she did come from a tough situation. So I have to be a little bit delicate. But it doesn't mean I approve of her. Oh, thank you so much, Sherry. I appreciate that. Everybody, yes, please, if you're enjoying the content, smack that thumbs up. If you're not enjoying the content, leave a comment, I guess. You know, let me know. And if it's something, you know, maybe I'll agree with you. Maybe it'll be something I'll change, you know, as time goes on. She's a doctor now? She knew she had a hernia. Well, she's that kind of a doctor. Okay, let's let this go. Let's do this.
Exploration, Healing, and Reflection by Positive Soul. Jacqueline Cadmian. I don't know how to...
Okay.
Cockroaches. And now look, like, I think I find strength in this. So yeah, I'm just really proud. Isn't it beautiful? All right, you guys, so if you remember, got a tattoo. It is currently in the stages of peeling.
I don't know much about tattoos, but is that supposed to peel like that? I don't know if it is or it isn't. And I will say, even though I don't know much about tattoos, I think the artwork itself is quite nice. It's very, like, the realism. It almost looks like a Greek sculpture, like the way the face, the shape of the face and the hair. So I really like the art itself, but I'm not a fan of tattoos. Just being honest, I don't have any tattoos. I'm not really into them in general, but I like that artwork though. I think that's nice.
She had this like thing over it for 2 days, got it taken off.
Dr. Lynn Medicine Woman. That's right, you called her that. Kid DJ's video.
That's how it's looking. So
everybody, Kid DJ, if you want to post a link to your channel, your vid, that you're more than welcome to do that. She cracks that funny joke about Dr. Lynn Medicine Woman.
It is done healing. We will show you the final. Because right now it's looking...
Good point, Ninja Cat.
Does that feel good though?
A little bit, yeah.
So do you like it?
I love it. Do you like it?
I love it, baby.
Yeah.
Hello, people. It's been days since I actually vlogged.
So that's normal.
So,
all right.
Hi, how are you? Today's my 6th therapy. It seems like I vlog only on therapy days as of late, but it's just like
my pleasure to have you today.
My filming is on. Today I'm very like grandma chic.
Hey, Krista.
I thought I left that era.
Yes, it does. That's what I was thinking too. And that Justice is Blind art. I don't know who I mean, that's like a very ancient like symbol, the blind justice. I forgot what her name in Latin was, but the goddess of justice in ancient Rome, that's what she looked like. She had the blind over her face. So that's like a very classical image. So yeah, it really does look like that. So I like that. I like that kind of classical artwork. I like that Roman classical stuff. I'm not into all the nudes necessarily, but I do like the classical style. Hello, Kitty Goddess. Thank you for coming. Oh, and yes, please, if you could hit that thumbs up, that would be so awesome. Tattoos peel. Okay, I was not aware of that. Got to keep that moisturized. Like I said, I'm not really into tattoos myself. I've seen some cool tattoos, though, I will say that. Everyone calls her that. All right. Let's keep it going with Amber. Yeah.
I'm noticing weird symptoms. I'm very much like, I pay attention to my body, okay? I do. I know a lot of people like to think that I don't, but I'm smart. I feel like I'm Dr. Lynn. I just know things, feel things, sense things. So I noticed lately, like, when I lay down flat, my stomach kind of has like a bulge, and I'm just like, what is happening? Like, it doesn't hurt. It's weird. It's something like new. And then, so I was putting like two and two together, and I was like, okay. So most fat people, a lot of fat people, they get hernias, and I never thought that I would be the one, right? And I recently, like a few months ago, just took a test to see if I had.
So you're saying that most fat people get hernias. She never thought she would be the one. I'm going to say that not most fat people. I'm going to say that most people are hyper obese. Well, that's because justice is supposed to be blind. It's supposed to not see what's going on. I don't know about the mouth per se, but I know that the blinds they're not supposed to see when they judge. Supposed to judge impartially. That's why she wears the blindfold, Lady Justice, so that she won't judge based on, surface things. That she'll judge fairly based on the truth rather than just, what's on the surface. It's a very metaphorical kind of thing. It's an ancient symbol, I think it's cool. I think it's a Libra, the scales, is also like has something to do with it. I have to look it up. It's been a while since I've studied my mythology. That's a fair point, Charlotte. That's a fair point. Okay. Yeah, that. I think that is a related image. I think that is a related image. A lot of ancient images, there's a lot of like crossover between them, like ancient like sun symbols and just ancient runes. And then we look at modern symbology, Eastern, Western. A lot of that stuff has just evolved over the years. There's very little that's new.
And I never got my results back. Like, no one ever like called me to like tell me my results. And so I figured, okay, so I guess everything's in the clear, because if something would have showed up, they would have told me.
I actually studied Latin in high school. That's part of also my my history appreciation for Latin and Rome and all that. It's a very interesting subject. There's so much to know. And you could study it all your life and still not know it all.
But I don't know, in my heart, I was like, something's not right. So I ended up calling to get my results because I never was told my results. And it turns out I do have a hernia, folks. And the fact that I like knew that before being told that,
Dr. Lynn, that was wrong.
I'm 32 years old. I don't think I could go to college to be a doctor at this point. But it's like, I feel like in my past life, I was a doctor or a nurse.
And you're not wrong.
Or I just watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy. So I noticed that I make jokes and I make light of things that like truly make me nervous. And I feel like this is also karma, because when I was younger, my brother used to pull me. I swear I've told this story before. My brother used to pull me in a red wagon.
I never heard this story about the background. He's like a year and a half younger
than me. That's like my little brother, and like.
Oh, my background. Okay, I'll give a little brief background. Irene K. My background, as far as my health, I guess you mean. Well, I was always a little bit chubby as a kid. My parents fed me a lot of junk food. They didn't really feed me well when I was a youngster. I got a little bit older. I got my weight under control to an extent, but then it kind of couldn't keep it off. I learned about weight loss surgery, the availability of it, when I was in my like early mid-20s, and I'd already lost and gained back a bunch of weight at this point. So I was pretty like hopeless, because I'd already like lost and gained the weight back, and I was only like 24 or 25, maybe 26. And I was like, what the heck, So I said, weight loss surgery, maybe that'll help me. And I got that. It worked. It was lap band surgery. Had it for like 10 years or so. Basically kept most of the weight off. Then gained back like 90 pounds over the course of a couple of years working a desk job. Then over the last, kept it on for a few years. Then the last like 2 years, it's come off again, just from dieting. So there you go. That's my background, long story short. Pocket also studied Latin. Very cool. Very cool. I don't remember any of it, sadly.
And I'm like 5'6". And I'm like, and I was chunky then, okay? And he's like the skinny little blonde-headed cutie, and I'm like this like chunky big sister.
Oh, no problem, Susie.
And
Glad you can make it.
If you push me in the wagon, I'll push you next. And so he'd always pull me in the wagon, and I would never do it for him. And it was, I want to say like a year later, we found out that he had a hernia. And
That's pretty crazy that the little kid got a hernia so young. I mean, I guess when you're young, your muscles haven't developed properly, so it is easy to injure them. And you heal up quickly at a young age. So I've got a feeling he probably didn't have any permanent damage. But that's wild, though, to get a hernia so young. I know it happens. It's not, like, unheard of, but wow, he gave himself a hernia pulling her around. That's crazy. And a hernia, anybody who's not familiar, there's different kinds of hernias, but the most common kind is when the abdominal wall, there's a weak point and the intestine pushes through because the intra-abdominal pressure is too great for the abdominal wall to contain. So it punches through, and you gotta usually have to get it surgically repaired. It can't heal itself up properly.
he had to get it removed. And that's a story that's like, do you guys have stories in your family where it's like,
Do I have food issues? Not too badly compared to some people. I'll say that, Ninja Cat. I've been blessed. My food issues are not too bad overall. But yeah, I definitely do. Like, I crave junk food. I don't like to eat health food too much. But I don't like to, but I don't have like terrible food issues though. Like, I'm definitely, but yeah, I like to eat sugar a lot. I'm not like a terrible binge eater, but like I will eat a whole bunch of cookies, Oh, it is common. Okay, there you go. See, I know it happens. I know it's not rare. I just didn't realize it was common. Oh, thank you, Tangled Bliss. I'm glad you like that, Charlotte. Yeah, like I said to Skinny Queen yesterday, I said if I gain the weight back, I'm going to lose it again too. I'm just got to not give up, In fact, I did gain back a little bit. I gained back like 5-10 pounds and I lost it again. So there you go. Just keep doing it.
it's like consistently told and talked about. That's one of mine. Yeah, so this is my karma. And I literally just found out.
That's a good point, Wookie. Some babies are born with them, and that's typically because the abdominal wall does not grow shut completely. So rather than a rupture occurring, it's because it never completely sealed up while the baby was developing. But it is functionally similar. But when a baby's small, I believe it's pretty easy to fix.
Found out as I'm getting ready to go to my therapy, so that's a whole moment. And can it be fixed
yes, they did,
in
Pocket.
weight loss surgery? So that was like the first question I asked, and they said that sometimes they'll do that and sometimes they won't. So it honestly just depends. But since I got that test done, my hernia has obviously grown because I didn't have like that bulge when I got my appointment. So when I had those tests done, so the fact that I have it now means that it's like, growing.
Interesting.
And I know that it's like normal for someone my size to have one because
I'm glad you.
It's almost
like
abnormal for someone my
caught
size
it and
not
you
to
got
have
it
one.
corrected.
But it's just kind of like
that's what's
goes
important.
to show that like health at every size is so silly.
And I'm assuming that they're all healthy now because from what I've heard, it's pretty easily correctable if they catch it young.
Like I don't understand the concept. I never will understand the concept.
Oh, that's great.
And I just hate it so much. Like I do think like respect at every size is a thing, and I feel like a lot of people are lacking
some babies
that.
Are born with them.
And I do believe that beauty at every size is a thing, but like this whole health at every size is just not a thing.
What was that, Amber?
And so many
Respect to Amber for saying this, and she'll probably reverse herself tomorrow because she can never stay consistent on anything that really matters. But respect to Amber for saying this, and we're going to contrast this in a second.
Respect at every size is a thing, and I just hate it so much. Like I do think like respect at every size is a thing, and I feel like a lot of people are lacking that.
That's
and
fair.
I do believe that beauty at every size is a thing, but like
That's
this whole
fair.
health at every size is just not a thing. And
You know what, Amber? I think you actually stated that pretty well. Respect for people at every size. That's we're all human. You can be beautiful to somebody at any size. Somebody can find you beautiful. It's not a limit. Like it's impossible to be beautiful if you weigh over a certain amount or under a certain amount. That's not a thing. Anybody can be beautiful, but health at any size. There is an upper limit to what's healthy, and it varies. Different people, different circumstances, ages, but there absolutely is an upper limit. And Amber at least is wise enough at this point to understand that, even if she is only understanding it for this moment.
and so many people, like in the past, I haven't gotten this recently, thank God. It's just like, why do you glorify, being fat? Why do you glorify being morbidly obese? Why do you? And I'm like, when have I ever done that? I show all aspects. It's not that I only show the bad parts. Like I show all parts of being my size, and that's something that I pride myself on, is that I do show the ugly side. Like, I literally got cancer, uterine cancer, because of my weight. And people think that I glorify this. No. If anything, I should be like the walking proof or walking like example of what not to be and to lose your weight, or you're gonna get a freaking hernia. So, well,
did you hear that? Amber, Dr. Lynn, medicine woman, actually made some good sense. You know, if in a few months when she reverses her opinion, I hope somebody plays this back for her, that she was at least being sensible in this moment. Because, yeah, that's just, you know, there's an upper limit to where you can maintain your health. And Amber is acknowledged that she is past that point, unfortunately. And maybe now, she, you know, and that's why she wants to get the weight loss surgery. Now, is she a good candidate for the surgery? Her history shows probably not. But I hope that I'm wrong. I hope she has success. I would never wish anybody to fail something like that. But from what I hear, from what I've seen, she just doesn't seem like a good candidate. And until she gets her mind together, you know, when I got the weight loss surgery, the doctor said I was a good candidate because I didn't have like severe food issues. I had food issues. Yeah, I overate. I ate the wrong stuff, but I was not somebody who like lived in denial and thought that it was healthy to eat pizza every night. You know, like I knew what healthy food was. I knew what healthy portions were. I had lost weight before. I just couldn't keep it off successfully. So Amber is not somebody who's had a good background of success. Like Foodie has not had a good background of success. Yesterday we discussed this. Foodie was saying how hard it is to lose weight. She's never really applied herself. She's never really done a serious diet nutrition program in her life. Not that I'm aware of. Not that she instituted on her own. Not that she planned, researched for herself. You know, her mother, I think, put her on a diet or something. But has she ever really planned and executed her own diet? From my understanding, she hasn't. The weight she lost was from an unhealthy way. I'll just say it like that. It wasn't from a nutrition program. That's what I've heard. Oh, thank you, Irene. Thank you.
That for me. Wow, I think it's now sinking in. So, cute.
Interesting.
Cool, yeah, I think I'm nervous because my appointment's coming up, and I had to write that thing for my therapist where I had to talk about like why a certain traumatic event happened to me. And I was thinking about sharing it with you guys. I don't know. I'm kind of like,
you know, Amber, you don't have to share trauma with us. Share it with your therapist. Share it with whomever you need to. Heal yourself as best you can. Don't use it for content if it's serious. If it really matters to you, if this is a serious issue, if this is something that's really traumatizing you, don't use it for content. Do what you need to do to heal as best you can, and then use your health journey for content instead. I think that'd be much healthier.
like iffy on it, but yeah, I wrote that yesterday, literally the day before my appointment. I was putting it off. And
how long post-surgery that I gained the weight back? It was about 10 years. I kept it off a pretty long time. And I gained it back over the course of like maybe 2-3 years. It came back pretty quickly. I got like a desk job and just like my diet went to crap. I just started eating nothing but junk food. It was my fault.
And I kind of say why in what I wrote. So if I do end up sharing that with you guys, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about that a lot today. And I'm not sure I'm 100%, but that's okay.
No, I don't mind skinny. That's why we're a good team.
After therapy, which is in 2.5 hours. So I'll be seeing you guys in 3.5. So I'm going to go. Bye.
I actually do not know the new terms of being morbidly obese and eating on cam because I am not morbidly obese and I don't eat on cam. but even if I was, I guess if I was, I probably would need to look up the terms. I'll say this. I think that kind of extreme mukbanging and I'm not against eating on camera. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with having a meal here and there. But that kind of extreme mukbanging, that Nico Cotto stuff, the HFC stuff, I don't have a problem with YouTube restricting that, especially because YouTube already restricts so many other things. There's no pretense of this being a free speech platform. It just isn't. We know it's not. Nobody thinks it is. So if you're going to be censoring all of this content, then why not censor some content that may, that's harmful? So if you're going to censor content, then censor harmful content. Let us go to other platforms for uncensored content and keep that trash off of here if you're going to be so obsessed with censoring the platform. Cheesecake Factory is delicious. I'll say that.
So I'm mid makeup and now I'm crying because I have a hernia. So you guys are getting to see the stages of how I go, like as a person.
Never had the food.
Like,
It's really good
like,
looking.
wow,
At least it was last I had
me.
it.
And now that like has sunk in, and I'm sitting here talking to Feline, who is over there right next to me. I realized that like food does this. I love that. Food.
Really?
Food.
Not aware of
like
that.
Food that is supposed to like make you like survive and live and like be in your happy era. Like no, it does this.
Well, I don't know about uncensored, but Rumble is like a good platform if you like really just want to get like all the people who get kicked off YouTube, they all go to Rumble pretty much. I know Odyssey is a decent one. I mean, like you might find content that you don't want to see as well, but it's at least you have the choice, and you can always like turn on your own content moderation settings if you'd rather not see certain material. So Rumble is a pretty good platform from my understanding for that. And we may end up having to go there if this stuff gets kicked off of here and we can't, show the clips for the review purposes. We may end up having to go to Rumble, at least for some videos, like a couple videos per week. Who knows? Hopefully it doesn't get quite to that point, but we'll see.
This as well. So I didn't want people to think that I was laughing, that I have a hernia or laughing at my health, because I know people would twist what I say and what I do. But I just tend to like laugh when I'm nervous, and then when something finally like hits me and like sinks in,
I do not know.
That's when I start crying and it starts like hurting. But I did this to myself, so wow, crying before therapy. I haven't done that yet, so that's a first.
That's fair, Krista. That's fair.
I'm just like sad because I didn't even know what a hernia was until Feline had to tell me. She told me what it was.
That's fair too about the monetization.
I don't know what I thought it was. Like, so much for being
that's a fair point. Like, there's some if they're demonetizing, that's different from actually terminating the channel. But if they're terminating the channel, I'd say that's more like censorship. If they're demonetizing, that's more of a gray area.
Right? Please, people don't take it. Like, I'm so afraid to say anything. Like, and I feel like people are gonna take offense to like me talking about doctors, and I'm just saying
Rumble is getting bigger. I probably should make a channel on there.
Doctors. It's just hard to like. I don't know. I've never felt.
And YouTube censors their comments like crazy. That's the other thing too. As a viewer, not even as a content creator, just as a viewer, it's very bothersome knowing that so few comments are getting through. Like all the time, I'll see somebody reply to my comment, and then I'll actually go look for the comment. It won't be there. and all the time as a creator, I'll see people put comments on my videos, and they'll be held for review, and there'll be nothing in there that's inappropriate that I could see, and that anybody, I mean, most of the time. Sometimes there is some rude stuff in there that I'd rather, people didn't see, but I still put it up there as long as it's nothing that I feel would get my channel taken down. I try to allow as much as possible. But yeah, the commenting, the way they've restricted the commenting so much, I think that's gonna be part of what pushes people to Rumble, because I know YouTube's viewership is going down, just platform wide, every video in general. Now, that's not true for every single video, every single creator, but in general, viewership is going down, and I think it's because they've restricted the commenting so much.
Need to be like super, sugarcoating my words. Up until like the last few months, I've been feeling like so.
They play favorites too.
Like, I really need to be careful about what I say, because people like twist what I say, and I don't like that. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about doctors. I'm just being stupid and saying that I'm a doctor, because I knew what was wrong with me. I think what's currently happening is I'm just going through a cycle of a lot of emotions at one time right now, and I'm starting to feel overwhelmed because it's like therapies on top of that.
She needs a good look at her health.
Broadcasting this to the internet, because who wants to see it?
That's a good question.
Hey guys, so it's been a few hours. Therapy is now completed. I mean,
what was it here? That's an excellent question. How did she get to this size? From my understanding, she's always been pretty big. She was big even as a young girl. I've seen some older videos of her. I've never seen a video of her from before she was of a big size. I never saw her back when I'd never known of her to be at a healthy weight, even before she came onto YouTube. So that's as much as I know. Maybe somebody else can elaborate further. Yeah, especially the small creators get hurt. I'm for the platform that gives the most freedom, and that also gives the most freedom to the user. to control their experience, because I don't like it. I don't think people should have to see anything they don't want to see. I firmly support the people's right to determine what content they have to see. If people should not be subjected to content that's disturbing, that's obscene, that's vulgar. People should not be subjected to that unless they want to see that. So I think that it's important platforms give people the ability to censor their own content. I think that's what we really should have. They should give us the ability to censor what we don't want to see. Say, hey, I don't want to see porn, or I don't want to see violence, or I don't want to see this, I don't want to see that. We should have the option to say in our own account what it is we don't want to see, rather than the platform deciding what it is we don't want to see. That's what I think would be the ideal solution. But whatever, I don't run the platform.
Of my 12 sessions, I can't even talk. I've been talking for over an hour, so I'm like, I don't know how to talk anymore.
Wow.
Things are
Even
just
the
getting
open
so
MRI?
deep, so real. That like counting these therapy sessions is so silly. Like thinking of myself, like therapy session number 1 versus now is like so different. Like I was just like ready to do the 12.
That's a fair
and now I'm
point
just
too,
like,
Charlotte. That's a fair point too.
No, I'm ready to like heal, not count the sessions, but just for the sake of like weight loss surgery.
Okay, I gotta ask, a cholecystectomy. Cholecystectomy, is that removing a piece of the colon? I'm not really sure exactly what that is, but she did mention that the possibility they could repair the hernia during the weight loss surgery. They could, but they could not. They're not really sure. So we don't really know that for sure. And I think I might actually be ending it a little bit early tonight, because I don't really want to keep going with this Amber Lynn video. But I do want to put on one last thing here. This is the one I was talking about last night. I'm going to put on something from Jay Bay to finish us out. Wow, she's gained almost 200 pounds and starting her weight loss journey. That's got to be frustrating, for her. It's got to be frustrating her. Her channel started as a weight loss channel, making a channel to keep me accountable. Wow. Yeah, let me put on a little bit of J Bay to finish this
lies, and more lies, and lies on top of.
So this is J Bay. She's the one who started the petition to get reimbursement for free
lies,
seats
and more lies
on airplanes. These things are written in a way that's, I'll say problematic. I don't like to use that word, but I'll say it's written ambiguously. That's a better word. These are written ambiguously. Fat cells cause health problems. Healthy fat cells don't cause health problems, but hyperplasic, I think they're called, fat cells do cause problems. Weight loss improves health for fat people. Weight loss improves health definitely for people who have too much body fat. And I wouldn't even say weight loss, I'd say fat loss. Fat people can be made permanently thin. First of all, that's a silly, I don't think anybody wants to be permanently thin. But fat people, first of all, what even is a fat person? I don't even like that term. People who are fat people. You're not just your weight. You're a person who is fat. You're not a fat person. You weren't born fat. You don't have to die fat. You are not fat unless you are fat. You know what I mean? Like, you're only fat as long as you're fat. If you lose the weight, you stop being a fat person. Psychologically, you might still think similarly, but I don't like that fat people language. It just doesn't make sense to me. Fat people can be made permanently thin. Somebody who's overweight can lose weight. Somebody who's fat can lose the fat. So permanently, for as long as you live, if you consider that permanent, exactly, it does improve health. Exactly, Kidney J. I wish everybody got a reimbursement for having to fly. You need extra medical supplies. You're not the only one who does. There's a lot of people who need all kinds of additional accommodations. And one of the few that you have some level measure of control over is your weight. So let me just show really quickly from her channel. Let me pull up from her channel. Actually, a video of hers from a few months ago, because I want to show this really quickly, because there was a time when she did sound a lot more reasonable. I'm pulling this up as an example just to show it, because I don't know what changed when she recorded this old video. She might take this video down. That's kind of why I wanted to show it, because this old video is like the complete opposite of what she's saying now. She's saying how you should buy an extra seat and all this kind of stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, she has all this like really good advice. We're going to put this on. See how reasonable she sounds here? She doesn't sound at all like this person in this other video. How reasonable she is here compared to the other. You know, she sounds like so reasonable here, doesn't she? See, so she's giving practical advice here. She's not saying, oh, you can't hear it? I'm sorry. Jeez. I am sorry, folks. I got the screen stuck. Let me... All right, sorry. 1 second here. Thank you for reminding me, folks.
Middle seat at all costs. Get a seat that's closer to the front of the plane.
I'm
and
such a
choose
clown.
either the aisle or window seat, and make
Okay.
sure to avoid an extra row seat if you're
That was
going to need a
great.
seatbelt extension.
That was a really
Another
embarrassing
question
way
I
to
get a lot is about pre-boarding. What is pre-boarding? Who's allowed to pre-board? And how do I get to pre-board on the plane? I always recommend taking advantage of pre-boarding as well. It's not very comfortable, and there is an armrest that does move up, but you're still sitting on top of it, and it can be very, very uncomfortable on
Let me go
make
back
a
to
whole new
this.
video all about it. Alright, this is for my plus size babes who are going to need 2 seats or think that they're going to take up more than 1 seat and want to be comfortable.
Listen to this.
For me personally, I take up more than 1 seat, and so I'm sitting in between 2 seats. Well, it's not very comfortable, and there is an armrest that does move up, but you're still sitting on top of it, and it can be very, very uncomfortable on your bottom, on your legs. It can be excruciatingly painful.
She's
And
at least
so
giving
what I
some
have
good
found
advice
that
here,
helps
though,
is
right?
bringing some type of cushion or thick blanket that you can fold up, lay it down on between the 2 seats, and sit on that. That way it's not cutting into your legs. That way it's more comfortable for you. And this really helped me on my last flight, and I would highly, highly recommend it. All right, this one is very important, and I'm gonna get a little emotional talking about.
I wish I could remember the part of this where she talks about how she pays for a second seat. Oh, they're right
or
there.
that you will
Perfect.
get
Right there.
Customer size policy is the best that I've come across.
Listen to this.
And I have a
'Cause she-
whole blog post on how to use their policy.
She actually talks about paying for a second seat. This was not only 9 months ago. Listen to this. Hopefully you can actually hear it now.
I'll link that down below for you. I will also be making a video all about how to use the policy and things like that. So be on the lookout for that. Their policy will ensure that you get your money back if you pay for a second seat, or that you will get a complimentary free second seat altogether. The Alaska Airlines customer size policy is a little bit different in where you do have to buy your second seat up front, but if there is an open seat on the plane from departing all ways, they will give you a refund at the end. I will also be making a video all about Alaska Airlines customer size policy, so keep your eyes out for that as well. The next tip that I have for you is book 2 seats if you think that you're gonna need them. This is the best way to ensure that you're gonna be comfortable during your flight. As a plus size woman who now wears a size 6X, I automatically know that I need to book 2 seats, because if not, I'm not.
Okay, so she's being somewhat reasonable here. She does say that she requests a refund from certain places because their policy allows for one. If it allows for it, it allows for it. But that's a far cry from this petition saying where everybody has to reimburse extra seats.
going to be comfortable, and neither is anybody that's sitting around me. Many people ask me if I think they need to book 2 seats, and my answer is yes. If you think that you're going to need that, then I would go ahead and suggest you do, if at all possible. Booking 2 seats will just ensure that you feel comfortable and that everyone around you feels comfortable, and that you're going to have some peace of mind while flying. My next tip is to use SeatGuru before.
See how she said that? She said, oh, that'll give other people space and peace of mind, and it's the best thing to do. If you need 2 seats, get 2 seats. What the heck? Why does she sound so reasonable here and sounds so entitled now? What the heck happened in the last nine months? I'm not going to say that she doesn't have other videos where she sounds really unreasonable and really entitled, because she does. But she also has a video where she talks about how her mother was kind of abusive to her. But then she alleges that it was because she was fat. Yes, her mother did criticize her for being fat in the story that she told. But it sounds more just like her mother was like a nasty woman. It doesn't sound like her mother would have been nice to her if she wasn't fat. It sounds like her mother was just real nasty lady. Yeah, so why has she changed that since? Is that a wake-up call? I don't know. She said, yeah, she has pulmonary hypertension. She claims it's completely unaffected by weight. Whether she gains weight or lose weight, it's unaffected. That is an oxygen mask that she wears. She is approximately 600 pounds. That's another important point. Plus size versus morbid obesity. Yeah, this is beyond plus size. She's only 23. She's over 600 pounds. That's really big. You know, ate some junk food. You deserve a little junk food on occasion. She made money acting entitled. That could be what convinced her to do it more. Yeah, that's a fair point, Hail Nev, and I'm guilty of that too, calling her overweight rather than calling her morbidly obese, because when I say overweight, most of the time, most people are just overweight, or maybe they're obese, but overweight's close enough. This woman is closer to, I don't know, closer to like being 100% fat than she is to a healthy body weight. And yeah, they do trigger us sometimes. They do that. Only 23, yes. To be over 600 pounds at age 23 is crazy to me. Because how could she gain any more weight? If she gains any more weight, she can't gain any more weight. There's nowhere for it to go. No, she's only 23, Rosalind. Not 33. She's only 23 from what I've heard. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I don't know if Skinny's coming on after me, but I think I'm going to cut it here. We've got through all the content pretty quickly tonight. And I don't really feel like going over the diet section for my ebook tonight. Yeah, she does look a little bit older, but when you're really heavy, it's kind of hard to tell how old you are sometimes. So, yes, and obesity directly. Thank you, Krista. That's what my research said as well. Pulmonary hypertension, from what I read, it was an issue of blood pressure in the veins going to the lungs, between the heart and the lungs. I think that's what it said it was. And I've never heard of blood pressure conditions that were unaffected by weight. Never heard of that. So that's some new stuff there. Yeah, so I think we're going to wind it down. Thank you, folks. You've been a fantastic audience. Yeah, you've been great. I love having you here. I feel like we've had a really entertaining show, an informative show, a fun show. You folks have a lot of interesting stories too. Yeah, sadly, I think she is at this point. At that age too. 23 on oxygen, bigger than Tammy Slayton at only 23. She looks like she's 40, or maybe she is 40. I don't know. I wonder what she would look like if she lost a lot of weight. Well, I can tell you, if she doesn't lose a lot of weight, we're not going to know what she looks like when she gets older, that's for sure. Oh, thank you, Ninja Cat. Yes, anybody else, if you want to like the vid, if you liked it, please give it a like. If you don't like it, well, you don't have to click like in that case. That's what she said, I believe. Ouch, I hope not. Good point, Sherry. You're very welcome, everybody. Great night, everybody. Good night, good night. Good night. Love having all you here. She is actually bigger than Chantal. But you know what? Chantal does not look that much smaller, to be fair. Yeah, Chantal always gets an extra seat. I don't know if it's for free, though. But she does get some for free sometimes. But does she get the second meal for free? That's the better question. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Pocket. I think this was a pretty solid one. Oh, you meant your daughter is like 140 and 20. Oh, no, I get you now, Hail Nev. No problem. Well, it sounds like she's in good shape, though. That's good for her. Very welcome. Be blessed, Jessica. Hope you feel well. Hope you get some good news, Hail Nev. Good night, everybody. The last flight, they moved her in the back. That's right. They put her on that bench seat by the toilet. Very welcome, Trolling Bish. Hope you had a wonderful night. Did Chantal book her flight yet? I'm sure she's looking at flights because she's got the, her visa is only going to be lasting for so much longer. That is probably why she got so mad. They probably told her that she needed a seat because they probably wrote it down on her passenger record that last time she needed another seat and she didn't pay for one. They probably said, hey, you try this stuff again, we're charging you. We'll give you an extra seat this time for free, but you know better. You know you need an extra seat. Don't play this game with us. Pay for that seat. We'll give you the extra meal, we'll give you whatever, but you got to pay for it next time. That's probably what they said. Oh, you're very welcome, Jessica. You too, Alnev. All right, everyone, be blessed. Have a wonderful evening. If Skinny Queen comes on tonight, I'll see you around there. If not, I will see you around during the week. And hope everybody has a fantastic night. Good night, everybody. See you next week, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Dinner with the Doctor. Signing off.